Hey guys, back with another video. Today I'll be doing what if Deku had Scarlet Witch's powers. Yeah, Scarlet Witch. Now, at first hand, I didn't really thought much of Scarlet Witch because, yeah, and I browsed through my comic collection a little bit a few days ago because I was bored. I had nothing to do. I browsed through my comic shelf, right? And I see an issue, right? An issue that I bought but never read, and it was just labeled. You can guess it. And I just had the plain and bold Scarlet Witch, and I was like, alright, let me see what you could do. And the issue just started where like she going batshit crazy, making her own reality, and I was like, hey, you need to calm down. Hey, I didn't know you could swing like that. Let me watch a few. Let me look for a few more of yours. And I was browsing across, and I found 3, 4 more Scarlet Witch comic books. I read them all, and I was like, hey, she has some amazing powers. Let me go write this down. Let me think of a script, and let me go make a video off of this because apparently I just finding videos up my ass. Well, that's a sad truth though. I find it what is up my ass. And my mouth is kind of hurting because I don't know why. My mouth is just hurting at this point. Maybe because I've been talking too much, or like I really don't have an idea why. But oh, and Winter Soldier will be coming out like not too long from now. Like, Winter Soldier is not gonna be. It's in the works because I have a big plan for Winter Soldier, and you guys will understand why I have not posted it yet. Cause I am just testing out my my Attack on Titan with this. So not spent much, so I'm testing it out, making big ideas that I wouldn't normally do for what if. So yeah. And the idea that I do, well, most likely, if I decide to do more Attack on Titan with this, would be redone the same way, but probably in different outcomes. But I might just redo the idea a lot over and over again. So first, just let me narrow down Scarlet Witch's powers for you guys. Okay. She has telekinesis. She can make an astral projection of herself, which is basically a hologram. She's not there, but she is there. All of that shit. She has time stop, but she also she can also speed up time. But I'm only giving him time stop at this point. He has energy blast because she can shoot energy blast for some reason. It's more like force blast, like blast of gravity or some stuff like that. She has flight. She has force fields or telekinesis, force fields, teleportation, and yeah, and she can create her own reality. So we start off this what if at damn it, I can't. We start this what if at Deku's birth. A black-haired woman along with a white-haired man is holding a boy. This is Inko Midoriya and Hazashi Midoriya. The boy is Deku. Deku had black hair and black eyes, which he got from his mother. We skip forward a few years and after that, Deku's been living a pretty decent life. He's been bullied here and there, but it doesn't really matter. Deku still looks the All Might, but he starts deviating from that and starts to get into more habits of sleeping a lot and becoming lazy in general. This is where one of his family members, well, a family member that they kind of didn't know, but they did know at the same time. This family member was rich AF. He had multiple companies in the world, and I mean in America, Japan, a lot of companies. And it was all left to Deku. It was written in Deku's. His will was to give it to Deku because he went over to that relative's house a lot and made a very good bond with him. He didn't have any children or people that was really close to him, but it all went to Deku and it all went in Deku's name. Hazashi had left at this point, so yeah. And by left, I mean like leave Inko entirely and his son. One day Deku just snapped at Bakugo of all people and just used a energy blast or a force blast to push him into the wall. Not hurting him, but just pushing into the wall so hard that the wall would start to get indented with the shape of his figure. Deku's hair started to elongate and his eyes became more colder. Now, the thing with Scarlet Witch's powers is her emotion, which is a very big downfall for Deku because in the original canon, Deku feels a lot of emotion. So I gotta have to strip that away a little bit. So his quirk also has a side effect. It makes him more cold and calm and collected. Even though he's angry AF, his mind will still be at peace. Because if this didn't happen, stuff like WandaVision could happen. And if you don't know what WandaVision is where Scarlet Witch like straight up makes a new reality. And that's what happens and in the comics and well not in the comics, also in the TV show like the Marvel Disney Plus thingy. It's gonna happen there, but also happened in the comics, but it was way different. Anyways, so Deku awakened. Around his hand was a see-through red aura. It was just emanating from his hand, and he didn't know what was going on. His eyes were red at this point. They were glowing red, but you couldn't exactly see the definition of the pupil. It was just a glow where his eyes was. Deku went to the quirk doctor, and the quirk doctor said his quirk was Scarlet Witch. It gives him the ability to use telekinesis and some other abilities that I cannot really get to at this point because we don't know much about this quirk. Only one person had this quirk a long time ago, even before quirks were actually supposed to be a thing. I guess she was one of the evolutions that got a quirk before everything else. So yeah. So that baby is not the first ever seen of a quirk, but it is that particular. Not much people would remember her, if you understand what I mean. And no, the Avengers did not exist. It really did. Well, some Avengers members did exist, and yeah. So Deku, a few years come, and Deku's about 10 at this point, and he says he wants to live on his own, which Inko wouldn't have any problem with because Deku was very smart, intellectual, and very mature for his age. He was a 10-year-old, but you can mistake his intelligence for a 20-year-old and wiseness for a old man. So she got a mansion, which was also one of the mansions that his uncle or whatever you want to call him owned. So he already got some. So Deku moved in there, and his body started to change. Like he's going through the early stages of puberty at this point. So his hair is long, and he's getting more facial features. He looks halfway. So he looks like a blend between Deku, the original Deku, and the person on the picture. Like mix them together, and he looks like that at this point. But he will look like this person at some point. So Deku is just outside, and he decides to go for a walk because he doesn't really do that much. And he goes for a walk, and the rain starts falling, but he doesn't really care. He does remember his father. He does know him, and he despises him with all his heart. To be honest with you, he doesn't like his father in no way, shape, or form. So he walks. He's kind of remembering what things used to be like when his father would play ball with him and stuff like that. And Deku just like gets so mad he punches a wall and like a red aura just starts like coming off of his hands, but he controls himself and just starts walking again. He starts walking and the rain is still falling until he sees three people just in the rain, like on the sidewalk, just in the rain. One had pink hair and pink skin with yellow eyes, and the outside of her eyes was black. She had two curly horns on the top of her head. She was wearing ragged and brown clothes, most likely dirty. The other had brown hair. She had brown eyes, I think. Brown eyes. She was wearing the same type of clothes, but it was obvious that the clothes was some other color before that, but it just got so dirty, it now looks like that. The other one also had pink hair, but has yellow eyes, and there was targets on her eyes. Actually, I'm just gonna say it because a lot of people know who she is. Originally, May was not supposed to be in this, but I'm still gonna do it because I end up saying it, so fuck it, I don't care. Apparently, y'all guys hate the Bakugo ship, so I'm gonna stop shipping Deku and Bakugo eternally. So apparently, I don't know why. Like, come on, tell me a reason why you don't like the Deku X female Bakugo, please. I hate Deku X Bakugo, like just Deku X Bakugo just in itself. And I don't even hate it because I don't like the concept. I just hate it because it's been spammed so much. Not in what ifs or anything, but like every time I look up for some fan art, right? Some good classic fan art of Deku X Uraraka. I can always see in the slightest of the corner, right? Fucking Deku kissing male Deku and male Bakugo kissing. I'll be like, I'm just trying to look for some Uraraka X Deku. I'm not looking for your ass. Why are you here? I just be looking at it all the time. I was like, oh, I might switch it up and do Toga. I end up seeing fucking who his name is, that the dick from class 1B. I'll be seeing that, and I know I spelled it right too. I go over it, search it up again, just plain Google, search it up and see if I spell Toga right, because I must be fucking illiterate, because I apparently I can't spell Toga. So I go on Google search, right, and I type in Toga, enter, and Toga from My Hero comes up, and I was like, okay, I'm not tripping. So what the fuck is this? And I'll go back on, and I will scroll down, then I will see Toga, but the first thing that came up was that boy that no one really, I don't even know his name. No, I know his name, Monoma, exactly, him. And I'll be like, why you gonna do me like this? Guys, that's for another what if. Don't look at that. That's for another what if. And why you doing me like this, right? So, guys, stop, please. Like, I don't really care for those like gay shits because it happened with Sasuke and Naruto and all that. But like, let me pause. I'll pause it with it for a bit. I'm going on a rant because apparently, wait, I said I wanted girls to watch anime. I admit that. Now I don't feel so sure of it anymore because My Hero is getting out of control. I'm just gonna put it plain and simple. My Hero is getting out of control. People are sending death threats for gay ass ships when there's something for that. This is why My Hero is a shonen. Have you seen any shonen ever do this? And there's reasons why they don't, because their shonen has specific guidelines that they cannot cross. On the other hand, there's a specific genre for that, all that shit. So you must go over there and you must see that. But don't come at My Hero, or the creator of My Hero, at his throat, sending him death threats because you want this nigga to make Deku X Todoroki. You know fuck you. And you, they don't even think it true. They don't even think it true because if this nigga wanted to do a sequel, how is gonna do a sequel? How? Just how is gonna do a sequel because they won't have any children. Because if you didn't know basic intelligence, boy plus boy does that equal child? That's not math. That's not how this universe math works. It is boy plus girl equals child, not boy plus boy equals child. And for God's sake, no, heavenly no, boy plus boy equals child. Because apparently people think that's how My Hero works. But I would like you to know, Bakugo, Todoroki, and Deku do not equal child. And that means no spin-off series, buddy. And that means we never get to see the quirks of combining quirks that we wanted to see. Like Deku X Uraraka. I wanted to see what that quirk would be. If he would get like the dad's fire breathing quirk, or he would get Uraraka's or a mixture of both, making some type of bullshit. But no, because apparently I'm stupid like that. Because apparently boy plus boy equals child. Because my intellectual skills are, I have not gone to school and learned about the in and outside workings of fucking females to find out that a boy plus boy doesn't equal child and girl plus girl doesn't equal child either. But then you say adoption, then I'd be like, fuck you. I know, like, I want a spin-off. I want another series after My Hero Academia. I want to see Deku and Uraraka's child go around being OP. I want to see with this hillbilly ass nigga look. Jesus, peace, God. I just needed to get out some steam. And for God's sake, start hitting on my nigga Moneta, right? This man is just being comic relief. I know he does some really questionable stuff at times, but guess who did it? And I can go on like any searching website and see fan art of this person. Jiraiya, see fan art of him. Meliodas, fan art of him. A lot of them. Who is his name? That guy from One Piece, the simp. Him. I could see fan art of him, and I could see multiple others. But you go at my guy Moneta. I don't like him because I don't really care about him. I honestly don't. I don't really care what Moneta does. He's just doing the necessary research that all of us knew that we wanted. And in all of the back of all of the boys' minds is going on is how big Momo's tits are. I just need to know this, right? Just for research purposes. How big her watermelons are. Just Momo, who his name is now? Moneta, come true and give you those sizes like Jiraiya did. I can't remember the size. What was the size of Tsunade's? I can't remember. But Jiraiya came true, you should came true too. So okay. And I just want you guys to stop hating on Moneta. I don't care for him personally. And you can see that by how I don't really include him in any of my what ifs. Like I basically forget he's there, like I forget Invisible Girl is there. But if they apparently make her able to turn off her mutation, then okay, dokie. I'm trying to see how she looks though. Cause she said blend like some other prehistoric nigga or some prehistoric bitch and blend them together and you make her face. But I don't know none of those people and I can't do that in my visual mind. So please, My Hero Academia creator, just come true for a nigga and make Invisible Girl look hot. She's already thick because apparently, although we can't see anything, we all know that she's thick because yeah. And like refreshing quick, I don't know how she got into 1A, but okay. Anyways, let's get back into this what if. I've been talking for way too long. So Deku sees these three people. He goes up and he takes off his jacket and throws it on them and says, "You should get out the rain. You might get sick." They say they don't have anywhere to go, and that their parents technically abandoned them. Deku said, Okay. And he reached out his hand and he just then a red aura surrounded them technically, kind of, and just starts picking them up and he just starts walking and carrying them back to his house. Remember, he lives in a mansion by himself, so yeah. He opens the door with his key and just walks in, brings the girls in with him too, tells them that they could go to the bath and just wash up, and he'll get new clothes for them, at some point in time. Just in the meantime, just wears some of my clothes, and he just goes upstairs and he goes in the kitchen and starts making food. The reason why to be honest, the reason why he did this is not because he was technically being nice. He did this for the main fact that he was lonely. Okay. Deku did beg for his mother. Like, he begged his mother non-stop for a multitude of years so he could live on his own. But again, he didn't know what that was gonna come with. He thought his mother was gonna come and visit sometimes. Yeah, she does come and visit sometimes, but remember, Inko's has to run a company, and multiple companies at that. And since Deku can't do it at this point, and the person that was originally doing it is dead, so she had to pick the role to do such. So Deku's just out there and he's by himself. So he decides to, I bet, and just starts doing things on his own. And he picked him up because he was lonely. He needed someone to talk to, and they had nowhere to go. So he was being nice. The other, he was lonely. So that's why he did this. The girls come out of the bath and they had towels, so they dried themselves, and they put on some of Deku's t-shirts and some of his shorts, and they just come out, and Deku places food on the table and says, "If you want, you could eat that." And he just goes in the living room, the movie room, because this nigga's loaded. He goes in the movie room and he turns on basically the cinema, anyways, and he turns on like a movie and just starts watching it. And they finish the food and they come in and they watch it and they fall asleep, and 3 of them fall asleep on Deku. Deku wakes up in the morning and just goes and gently places them off of him and just goes in the bathroom, just goes in the kitchen and just like eats and just makes some food, like pancakes, some bacon, some eggs with that macaroni inside of the egg. Y'all don't know nothing, bruh. Y'all have macaroni cheese and egg. I feel like I'm tweaking, but like that's the best thing about life. And the fact is, I was just messing around when I made it. I just cooked some like macaroni and cheese. Then I like took out the macaroni cheese, put it in the frying pan, cover that shit in egg, and start mixing the fuck out of that, and then just got scrambled macaroni and cheese egg, and I ate it, and that shit was delicious, delectable, delingo, and I was smacking my lips, I was smacking my I was licking my fingers, bro. It had me saying the KFC, what is it called now? KFC slogan, right? Finger licking good, because I had to lick my fingers clean. Okay, I'm sorry. He poured out some orange juice and milk if they wanted either, and just sat down and started eating. They waked up and went out of the fucking cinema and just saw they went in the living room smelling the food that was in the huge house, which they were admiring, and Teruku told them he was gonna give him a tour. And Mina is not as cheerful as she is now, because remember, I'm gonna get into the backstories right now, but like remember, her parents abandoned her. I gave that to you like the first time I said it. So she's not as joyful as she was in canon. So I gave the reasons they abandoned the children. So yeah, and Mina's kind of gonna be the more tragic one. Like, she's gonna be the most tragic out of all of them. But like Uraraka's and Mei's like Mei's Uraraka's and May's like problem would be exactly the same. Like, anyways, so they found themselves in the living room, and they see like the eggs, the bacon, the macaroni cheese egg, the orange juice, the cereal, those crunchy nuts. No homo. Those crunchy. What is called them? Crunchy general. No, I'm gonna say frosted flakes. I was trying to remember some fucking cornflakes that I ate like a few years ago. So I'm not gonna try to wrap my head to figure that out. But it was cereal, and they were eating cereal at this point. So they sit down, and they're quiet, and they just say like, why did Deku like take them in? Like, they have nothing to give him, and then they think of something, and they just like start covering their body, and then Deku looks at them and just like asks what the problem was again, and they realize he wasn't even listening to them. He was just straight up eating. He was on his phone. He was just like, oh, what you said again? And they kind of get a little freaked out. Well, not freaked out. They kind of got a little blush on their face, and then they look at Deku and say, I, you're cute, but I don't want to like have. And Deku realized what they were gonna say and said no, just no. Honestly, I only like took you off the streets because one, you could have got raped. Damn it! Ugh. I need to stop saying that word. It just comes so natural. I don't even know why it comes natural like that. Once I think of what it means, I just get, oh, but that's what it means. But forced skin to skin contact or forced to bedtime sparring. So yeah, and you could be cold, you could get sick, you could die, you could starve to death, and I'm pretty lonely. So as you can see, I have all this big house to myself. It would get lonely at some point. They relax and get less tense, and they understand what Deku meant. Like, it would get lonely here. Like, the house is big. Like, I mean, big. And they ask him why doesn't he hire maids, and Deku says that he did, but they will only be coming in a week, and he was just lonely. So yeah. So they understand, and then Deku answers the question. Y'all told me that your parents like abandoned you. Is it too painful to talk about, or like, or it's like, or you want to keep it to yourself? And they just look dumb for a little bit, and Deku says if you don't want to, you could not. And then Mina just says it's okay, and she starts talking. She says that her parents didn't like her form because she didn't look like them. Now, Mina's parents actually look kind of human, but they do have those horn things. And when her mother has yellow eyes, so yeah. I've never actually seen Mina's parents, so yeah. So she says that her father kind of abused her and beat her until she was blue, making her change a whole different color. No, I shouldn't be joking about that, but anyways, beat her, gave her a black eye, and then eventually just threw her out because she said she was taking up too much space, and just threw her out of the house. And she had to like wonder until she found Uraraka, and they started to become friends, and they figured out that they were abandoned. Well, she was kicked out, and she was kicked out. So yeah. Now Deku looks at Uraraka, and Uraraka starts explaining. I was supposed to get married off to this rich old man. I didn't know why he wanted to date 10-year-olds, but well, no, she would be 9 at that point. Yeah, she would be 8. So he wanted to date an 8-year-old, making it even worse. But anyways, she wanted to date him, wanted to be her wife, and she didn't want to do it because, again, who wants to date a 50 to 60-year-old man and you 8? So no. There's a huge gap in age there. So no. So she just looks. So she told her parents, and she straight up refused it. And her parents got mad. Her father especially got mad and started to beat her, like abuse and beat the fuck out of her. I put that on God, and just eventually just kicked her out, just like straight up, yeet, and kicked her out of the house. And May is the same thing. So like, her parents did the exact same thing that like, basically her and Uraraka's backstory is basically the same. And her and Uraraka are she's closer to Uraraka than she is to Mina, but all three of them are friends. So yeah. Deku says I, and he just says, I don't know if you want separate beds or you just want to share a bed with me, because mine's is pretty fucking big. But anyways, so they kind of blush a little bit and just they say they want to sleep in a bed with him. And Deku says, I eat. And he goes in his room, fixes some stuff. They can hear some stuff moving around. And when they look in, they see like things floating in the air, garbage being put in a garbage bin, seeing towels just moving across the walls, the roof, the brooms just sweeping shit, books being put back on the shelves, computer being cleaned, table being cleaned, everything being cleaned, sheets being put back on the bed, everything. And the TV being like rewired, so like, yeah, and like everything. And he says today will be, I think we should go to the mall. And then as they hear that, they hear a beat sound, and like maids and butlers start coming out and just going into the house, and going to the door, and Deku's opening the door and says, oh, you're here. I kind of knocked over some stuff, so yeah. So they go inside, start getting prepared. The chefs comes in. The chef comes in, everybody comes in, right? Deku just takes their hand and they go out to the limo that's outside, and he puts them into the limo. Note, they have not taken a bath yet. So Deku noticed this, and this tells him to drop them at the hot springs, and then they will go to the mall. And Deku says, and this is a closed doors hot spring, not an open hot spring. So yeah, they go to a closed door hot springs and just they bathe, put on new clothes. Well, Uraraka, Mina and May put on like Deku's clothes technically, and they go to the mall. Now a few butlers are with them and bodyguards, but not bodyguards, butlers, just butlers. Deku says that we have to get new clothes for you, so that means a whole wardrobe. So pick whatever you want, and I'll be just in the food stand, and I'm trying to find a new beanbag. So yeah. And he just goes off, and one butler goes with him, and he told the others to stay with them because they'll be getting a lot of clothes. And Deku told them there's no real like price. There's no budget, so just go all out if you want or something. I don't really care. And he goes to the food court, buy some valuable caramel popcorn, eat that shit, and goes and looks for some like bean bags to sleep. Anyways, he goes and he's looking for some. He sees a Supreme one, he sees a Nike, he sees a Jordan. But one catches his eye. A Supreme Louis Vuitton. Oh. A Supreme Louis Vuitton sleeping bag. And he just looks at this and says, normally I'm not the excessive type because I don't really like wearing show off things, but this is just attracting me, bro. I would achieve the most Black Force energy in the world because I really exude that shit. Just having this, it exudes my shit and even more. And he does that and just like, normally I don't take part in drip, but I gotta stay drippy though. So he goes over, goes to the cashier of the Supreme Louis Vuitton bag. I know he's in a Supreme store, so yeah. The person like kind of says, "You you can't afford this, kid." And Deku looks at him and says, "What?" And then the butler comes and said, "Oh, Master Deku is Master Deku. What else do you feel you're gonna do today?" And the guy says, "Master Deku, this man's a butler? Oh, he rich. Okay." And he just bagged the thing and says, "Hey," and Deku just like gives him his credit card, value dollar, and gives him his credit card, and he just like swipes it, and it goes through. Like there was no way that shit wasn't going through. So he's surprised this kid got bank. So he gets out of the store. He he flicks it on the nigga. He bought his Supreme sleeping bag. His Louis Vuitton sleeping bag. I would have fight one of those. Like I've seen this a Supreme Louis Vuitton bag, sleeping bag, bro. I need one of those now. I need one of those now. Apparently, before I didn't need one, but like now I just want one because I talked about it. I'm gonna go in the Supreme store quickly and just browse for some at this point. Anyways, Deku just goes off and just like buys one more caramel popcorn and goes in the store and buys him some games, some FIFA, some GTA, some other stuff, right? And he decides, I'm gonna go on a shopping spree. He buys some clothes, mostly long sleeves, some short sleeves, some hoodies, some J's, and he doesn't really take part in drip, but he does like his drip. So take part in some J's, some Nike, and some Adidas. He ain't going for those Supreme because again, he doesn't take part in drip like that. So he just stun on the nigga, and he just like goes through and just. He's in the food court, and like Deku has 2 credit cards. So like, I'm just putting it out there, and he has 2 credit cards basically, and he can do whatever he wants. His mother doesn't like relinquish him. He doesn't put him on like caps, how much money he could use. No, she doesn't do that. So, and Deku hasn't seen his mother for at least like a week, no, a month, because again she's traveling around the world and she has stuff to do. And she did personally order those maids to watch over her son, so she's trying to take care of her son the best she can. So Inko's not a bad mother. She does have a lot of stuff to do, and she really hates that she has to be away from him for so long. So yeah. So Deku is just wearing a new hoodie that he just got, a white one with the water senpai on the back of it. It was just this random merch that he found of this person that had 1 million subscribers. He just bought the merch because the stuff looked drippy. It had the water senpai on the back, a boy with Hanako's face on the front, and a small Hanako face on the front, which is just my thumbnail. Anyways, on the front, and it just stayed drippy, and he just had it on with his black. He only had a black T-shirt on, like some joggers, Nike joggers and some Adidas. So some black and white Adidas. So he stays drippy. Anyways, so Deku just walks. So then Mina, Uraraka, and May come and these butlers are just holding bags, and I mean bags. And when I say bags, when I say bags, I mean bags, like piles of bags. So They got some on their arms, some on their neck, all up in their hands. They had a handful. They can barely see. They have to peek across their head to see some stuff. So, anyways, Deku just looked at them, and he doesn't really care because again he has that billions, and he's making in American he has like billions and billions and billions of dollars like in his bank account. That's not his overall percentage of money. That he has billions and billions and billions of dollars in his bank account, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 34, 30. B's in my bank account, bitch. Anyways. Damn. See, she's loaded, right? So they come and Deku says, hey, your hair kind of looks raggedy. We'll go and like get your hair done like tomorrow. So they get back in the limo and they just drive back home. And they went to a restaurant before to get some ice cream, some chicken, some fries, the deluxe, right? So they go in and they get that and they just eat it and they go. And Mina's not Mina Hashiro. She wants to take Deku's last name because it's Midoriya, but she feels it's gonna be rude, so she doesn't say anything. But that goes for the same as Uraraka and Mei. So they kind of want Deku's last name because they don't like their last name because it reminds them of their parents. So yeah. So they go home and they give the maids the stuff because they told the maid just want the best life for Deku. So they tell them that they're gonna pack the stuff and they can just go and watch the movies or something. So they go back into the cinema and watch movies until they fall asleep, and Deku wakes up and shakes them and tells them that they should go to bed. And he turns off the theater and just goes off and goes into his bed with Mei Uraraka and sorry, Mei Uraraka and Mei Uraraka. Ah, damn it. Mei Uraraka and Mina. They go into the bed and they sleep. And over the night, they just started cuddling with Deku. Mina is on top of Deku. And Uraraka is just cuddling the left side of Deku. And Mei is just cuddling the right side of Deku. So, yeah. So he wakes up and Mina, Uraraka, and Mei sees what they're doing. They start to freak out, but Deku says it's not really a problem for him, and he just he pats them on their head and says it's okay. And they snuggle back in and they start sleeping again. They get up after a few minutes, and Deku says it's time to go and get your hair done, and mine's because Deku does get his hair done, of course, because he has to go to that barber though. He ain't going to no raggy daggy old hairdresser. He going to a barbeque. So, but luckily there's a barber store built into the hairstylist that he's going to. So this is the hairstylist that his mother goes to. So yeah, and Eiko is not fat. I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm blunt with it. She's not fat. She looks how she was in the flashbacks where Deku was still a child. So she's not chubby. I don't know how age works in My Hero, cause Inko was tall. Now she's short. I don't know how that works. And Deku shouldn't be taller than Inko, but she's not, and I don't understand. But anyways, Inko is taller than Deku. So yeah. So Deku So the limousine comes back out and Mina and Mina and like Mina puts on a short jeans pants. I mean, one of those short shorts. Like, I don't know why they wear it, but like, she just wearing a long sleeve belly out shirt and just with a kind of a choker, a black choker on her neck. Cause I've seen this in like some fan art. I've seen her wear that, so I'm gonna make her wear that. Uraraka is wearing a pink shirt with like with a few black lines on it, with a black dress, with with a like a wristband or like a bracelet, a diamond bracelet. And May has like, how should I give her? She has one of those dresses where the shoulders are exposed. Like one of those, not dresses, I mean shirts. Yeah, shirts with the shoulders exposed. It doesn't have a strapless belly out shirt. I think it was. She has one of those with a black skirt. So yeah. So they hop in the limo and they just drive to the hairstylist. Deku goes, cause his hair is like it was in canon at this point, and he has the face of the person on the screen, but he doesn't have the hair, so he has to go and get his hair cut now. And Deku's just going. They got there, and Deku goes to the barber, and like Uraraka, May and Mina go to the hairstylist. Deku gets his hair cut like what is in the picture, but Mina, Uraraka, and May Uraraka and like May Uraraka and like May Uraraka and Mina. Damn it. May Uraraka and Mina are. I'll explain Mina's hair stuff first. Mina has her hair. She has bangs with two bangs on each side of her face, and her hair coming down close to her eyes, but they kind of stopping below the eyelash, like, kind of stopping there. And then she has the rest of her. She has long hair in this one, and her hair is straight now. So she has the rest of it in a ponytail, and the rest of the ponytail just hanging down from her head. And Uraraka's hair she also has like, her hair is going down to her eyes, her eyes. She has two bangs on on each side of her face, and she has two bangs on each side of her each of her side of her head, and the rest of the hair at the back is braided, so he's in one braid, and it ends with a ponytail. Mina has basic hairstyle, a basic hairstyle too, and she has basic hairstyle for true. Like, she just has short hair now. Her hair is coming down to her eyes, and just her short hair. She doesn't put it up. She just like, it just looks better. So Deku walks in there. Deku comes out, gets his hair clean, gets some alcohol put on his hair. Well, would he need that? Because for me, I need like alcohol put on my hair, but I guess not. So yeah. So he looks like he is in a picture, but just like a smaller version, because remember, he's 10. So yeah. Remember, he is 10, so like He is on some next level shit. So Deku just comes out and he compliments them and they blush. And over time skip a few at least a few weeks. Mina, all of them are kind of like changing because they're getting proper food, and they're becoming more beautiful basically. So they're kind of hitting puberty technically. So Mina, her assets is growing. Mina, Uraraka's and May's assets are growing on both sides of the spectrum. Like she got some on the front and she got some on the back. But I don't wanna say anything though. Like so, yeah. So like, and Mina, she hitting puberty, something happens that didn't happen to her in the canon. Mina also got her horns kind of filed down, although it kind of like tickled and hurt her a little bit. She got it filed down, and she looks more like Zero Two's horns that she has, but they're still the same color because Zero Two's horns are red, but it the shape itself kind of looks like Zero Two's horns now. And she kind of has Zero Two's like hairstyle in a ponytail, so basically she has Zero Two's hairstyle in a ponytail. But when she has it down, she looks like Zero Two's hairstyle. Anyways, so but the black that was on the outside of her eyes, if you ever seen Mina, had it turned white and her pink skin became a little bit lighter. It it doesn't. It still has a little pinkish look to it, but it kind of looks human just a little bit, just a little bit. I don't want to completely change her character, but I just wanted to look a little bit more. Nah, I can't be saying that. Um, I just wanted her to look that way. To be honest, I was trying to justify myself, but I just wanted her to look like that properly. I just wanted her to look like that. Basically I wanted her to look more like Zero Two because, as you know, guys, I don't like simps. I wouldn't call myself a simp, but I do like Zero Two a lot. Like I like her a lot. Although I do not have one poster of her or one like figurine of her or anything. But she's top one waifu. She's number one. She's even above Hinata. So you guys know how much I like Zero Two. Like she's above Hinata. And if I might decide to do a Darling in the Frats what if. But I need you guys to see if you would like it. So guys, if you like Darling in the Frats and you want me to do what if Hero gets do a hero what if, and I really hated the ending of like Darling in the Franks. I really hated it. It was also touching at the same time. I hated the ending because obviously main waifu died, so obviously I'd be a little bit aggro. But I liked it, but I also didn't like it. Ugh, so confusing. Anyways, Deku just stun on a nigga. So Deku so Deku just I was still talking about Mina. Fuck. Anyways, Mina still has her look to her, but she has straight hair now, not curly, and her horns are kind of filed down, and like she looks way cuter actually. And Uraraka, she has a whole new look. She doesn't have a chubby look to her. She didn't actually have a chubby look to her, can it? But she's more slim and lean, and yeah, they also been training, and they wondered upon something a few days ago. Deku's diary. They read it and they saw that Deku kind of has feeling for them, but he couldn't explain it himself because